The Texas sun had not yet dipped below the horizon when Mark Drayton sat at his laptop in a small cafe on the corner of South Congress Avenue. He was the kind of person you could spot in any business district in America. Neatly dressed, confident smile, polished speech. 35 years old, a mid-level financial consultant. But inside, emptiness and ambitions that wouldn't leave him alone. I wasn't made for small things, he told himself. I can do more. I just need a chance. His friends often joked that Mark sounded like a motivational speaker, but lived like a desk clerk. One day he decided to change that. Why should the rich always stay rich? They just know where to invest. What if I create a fund that gives ordinary people a chance? Thus, Drayton Capital Partners, LLC, was born. An investment fund meant to open the doors of big business for everyone. On paper, ambitious. In reality, no license, no partners, no capital, just confidence and a persuasive voice. Within a month, Mark already had a website, logo, slogan, office address, a small co-working space downtown Austin. He recorded a short promo video claiming accessible investments for everyone and purchased social media ads. The first clients came quickly. He showed them charts using real stock graphs but presented them as fund data. No one checked. Everything looked legitimate. Money went directly into his personal account, but he kept records to appear credible. The first few months brought only a few $100s in profits, but in clients' eyes, it was a success. See? 12% in a quarter. Imagine if you invested more, Mark would say with a smile. The first to believe was his older sister, Susan. A nurse, she trusted her brother completely. "If this is your life, Mark, I'm with you," she said. She invested $40,000 of her savings. Next was his best friend, Tom Rivers, an auto mechanic who sold his old pickup truck to invest $20,000. Mark created Excel reports with green arrows, stamped confidential on them. After 3 months showing Susan a 15% growth, she cried, "I knew you could do it." These words pierced him. Deep down he knew it was all a lie, but retreating was no longer an option. By the end of 2015, Drayton Capital appeared successful. Social media showed photos, Mark in suits at conferences, parties. He drove a Tesla Model S, claiming it was a company car. Neighbors, church members, former colleagues, everyone wanted in. More money flowed not into investments, but into his new home, trips, and restaurants. He convinced himself it was temporary. This is just a loan. I'll invest in real projects later and make it right. This is how almost every fraudster thinks, until the bubble bursts. Problems began in January 2016. One investor, James Walters, a military veteran, wanted to withdraw part of his funds. Mark stalled. "Funds are being reallocated. Give me a couple of weeks." But James wasn't convinced. He called the partner company listed on the website. The company never existed. A week later, he showed up at Mark's apartment unannounced. "Are you cheating us?" "No, just temporary delays. Everything's under control." For the first time, Mark felt real fear. Primal, gut-wrenching fear of exposure. Spring 2016. Local blogger and journalist Rachel Miller received an anonymous email. Drayton Capital is a pyramid scheme. Check them out. She started investigating. Checked company registration, office address, bank licenses. Everything pointed to fraud. A month later, her blog published an article, "Too Good to Be True: The Truth About Drayton Capital." The piece spread quickly on social media. Clients began calling, demanding their money. Mark tried to manage the crisis, promising an audit and new partnerships. But Rachel kept digging. As the calls became relentless, Mark broke down. As the calls became relentless, items to Mark return at least some money. He sold personal items pouring water to return at least some money. Each day the debt was like pouring water into sand. Phones never stopped ringing. Each day the debt grew. Mark, you promised. Never stopped ringing. Where's our money? I trusted you. You promised. Where's our money? He began avoiding people. I trusted you. Shut down social media. He began avoiding a rented apartment. Shut down social media. On the desk. Moved to a rented apartment. A stack of printed reports. On the desk. A laptop. And a bottle of whiskey. A stack of printed reports. He stared at his name on the website, thinking. He stared at his name on the website, thinking. July 2017. When did it all go wrong? Federal agents arrived at his home. They knew everything. Bank transactions, forged reports, fake signatures. Charges: investment fraud, money laundering, document forgery. He didn't resist, just sat on the couch and quietly said, "I wanted to be successful. I just didn't know how to play honestly." When they led him away in handcuffs, neighbors filmed on their phones. The man once called a financial genius had become a cautionary tale. The trial lasted 6 weeks. Prosecutors presented 38 volumes of evidence. Witnesses included former clients, friends, even his sister. Susan wept, looking at her brother in his prison uniform. "I don't want him to go to jail, but I want to know why he betrayed us." Mark couldn't answer. He simply stared at the floor. Verdict: guilty. Sentence: 8 years in federal prison. After the verdict, only fragments remained. Some lost life savings, some homes. Susan sold her car to cover debts. Tom Rivers closed his auto shop. Journalist Rachel received dozens of letters from other victims of similar schemes. She later said, "All these stories are alike. People don't trust numbers. They trust the face promising hope." In 2024, after release, Mark gave an interview for a podcast. Gray-haired, exhausted, but no longer the man of 10 years ago. "I'm not a monster. I just wanted to be someone, and when you build a life on lies, you lose everything: friends, family, reputation." Now he works as a financial ethics consultant, speaking at colleges, warning students, if someone promises easy money, it's not an investment, it's a trap. Final shot. Mark walks out of the college building, sits on a bench, watching the sunset over Austin, the same city where it all began. Sometimes, to understand the value of honesty, you have to lose everything.